You got it. Satan. You see, Satan was so envious of the Most High's image, Adam and Eve, the image of the Most High, that he devised a plan in order to destroy it, to come against it. Why? Because it's the image of the Most High. With that image, it has power, as we have previously discussed. So Satan looked to separate this power, to suppress it, to divide it up, to not allow it to prosper, to not let it grow into its full potential. Of course, he would have to use tools. And today we will show some forth of those tools written of in the scriptures that Satan is using. So let's jump right into Genesis 8 and 21. Genesis 8, chapter 21. So with Satan using these particular tools in which we want to go into, he would use them to come against the image of the Most High, not really caring which one he would use, but ultimately having one goal in mind: destroy the image. Destroy the image by any means necessary. And one of the key emphasis that he would use in order to destroy the image was outright destroying man. You got it, destroying man. So, of course, you have seen some of these in the scriptures. Let's go to one of them. Let's show you Genesis 8 and 21.
And the Lord smelled a sweet savor. And the Lord said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake.
Mm-hmm.
For the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth.
Mm-hmm.
Neither will I again smite any more everything living as I have done.
Exactly. So the Most High said that he will not again curse what? The ground for man's sake. Understanding that Satan wanted to destroy man. He wanted to destroy the image. Of course, we know he used Eve to get to man, but his ultimate goal was to get to man. So what the Most High do? He cursed the ground for man's sake. Check that out. So he said he won't do that again. For the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. So when was that first time? Let's go to Genesis 3 and 17 to show you that first time. Because he said he wouldn't do it again. So let's show you the first time. Genesis 3 and 17.
And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it, cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life.
Exactly. You see that? He said, cursed is the ground for thy sake. Showing that he cursed the ground here because he understands that Satan was trying to get him. He was trying to get him. This is why the Most High warned him not to eat from that tree, not to partake of it. Because the Most High understood Satan's true agenda. So with that, he would do it again. Let's go to Exodus 1 and 15. He would do it again to show that Satan knows his target and he's faithful at executing his target. He's faithful with it. He thinks about this day and night to eliminate the image of the Most High. to incinerate it, destroy it. So let's show you one other time in which it's outright that Satan is trying to destroy the man child. Let's go to Exodus 1:15 and read down to the 22nd verse, brother.
And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of the one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, when ye do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live.
Mm-hmm.
But the midwives feared God, and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives, and said unto them, why have ye done this thing, and have saved the men children alive? And the midwife said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively and are delivered ere the midwives come in unto them. Therefore God dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very mighty. And it came to pass, because the midwives feared God, that he made them houses. And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, every son that is born ye shall cast into the river, and every daughter ye shall save alive.
You see that? Satan was aiming to destroy Adam, to destroy the man. Cast all the sons into the river. Every daughter you shall save alive. Still aiming at the man to destroy him. Did you catch that, brother? He also, read 21 again.
Verse 21. And
Yes.
it came to pass, because the midwives feared God, that he made them houses.
Showing that the woman can also be a help to men. Understanding that Satan is aiming at the man, the woman can be a buffer to it, can help. But today we're focusing on the man. This was Satan's plan since he fell down, to destroy the image of the Most High. And with it, he could have full power on earth. He could reign. But the Most High understood it. So he began to divide the family, the image of the Most High. He began to divide it. Let's go to Proverbs 17:13. The Most High began to understand Satan, to show man exactly what Satan's plan was. To manifest it so that man could understand what Satan was. This is why he sent the law. Let's get Proverbs 17:13. He sent the law. Oh, you lagging, brother. There you go. Go ahead. You back. Go ahead.
Whoso rewarded evil for good, evil shall not depart from his house.
Exactly. So because the Most High tried to give good to the children of Israel and they rejected it, evil did not depart from this house. Of course, with Israel being the light of the world, this would manifest itself all throughout the world. All people would learn evil because the light did not shine. There was no people to show forth the good in the world. So because of that, evil shall not depart from his house. Now, this is on every level. This is on the house of Israel, and this is on the house of the world too as well. So Satan understood this. He knew that by destroying the image, by coming against the Most High's law, he will be able to take full power in order to keep this earth where he will want it to be. So the Most High sent the law to combat evil with good, to show forth that light and darkness. He sent the law. But what? Let's go to Hosea 46. But what? Because Israel did not want to listen to it, they rejected it. Remember Proverbs 17:13, whosoever rewarded evil for good, evil shall not depart from his house. Evil began to multiply, began to increase all across the globe. Whereby Satan was able to reign, to show forth his plan, to continue the agenda, to destroy the man-child. Are you seeing this? Hosea 4:6. Are you seeing this?
Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. That thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. I will also forget thy children.
Exactly. So the Most High rejected Israel, said that there would be no priest to him. Don't forget, priests teach law. So because of that, they were not able to show forth that light in the world. Now you have darkness rising and only a remnant having the light. Only a small remnant. Are you seeing this? This put an even bigger wedge into the family, into the image of the Most High. This is why Israel is in the state in which it's in. This is why man is in the state in which we are in. So this evil never left the house of Israel, which on a higher level, it never left the world because there will be no light to show it. So let's take a look at some of the tools that Satan will use to show forth his reign. He will create a system that benefits off the separation of the Most High's image, off the family, in which it will be easier for one to separate than to be together. It will be a system that puts money above the family, above honor, above integrity, above righteousness. Are you seeing this? And it would allow one to prosper for doing evil. Are you seeing this? All this relates to the oppression of man, because his agenda was aimed at man from the beginning. It never changed. It's always been the same. It's always been the same. It just manifests itself in different ways. So this system would benefit those who didn't want a family. It would benefit the people who really didn't care about family, who value money over family. Are you seeing this? Let's go to Proverbs 3:31. So through this rise of Satan being able to reign on the earth, he is still able to put his plan into motion at an even greater height now. To put his plan into motion, to destroy the image of the Most High, to destroy man. Proverbs 3:31.
Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
Exactly. So through this rise of Satan, guess what? Those that are on the lower end will by default envy the oppressor. They began to copy off their ways, do what they do, lust after the things that they lust after, thereby even further increasing wickedness on the earth. Are you seeing this? So because man doesn't know the Most High's plan, the Most High, this is how you know the Most High knows all. He just said, hey, follow my law, not actually mankind understanding what following his law meant. How would that have changed the world in itself? This is why man is in the state in which it's in. This is why the earth in which it's in the state that it's in. So we're walking this all the way down until actually pinpointing Satan's agenda, continually destroying the man, using whatever tool he can to destroy the man, using whatever, because he's faithful in his plan. He's obsessed with his plan. So through Israel rejecting the Most High's law, by default, those that do not have law will begin to rise. By default, Satan would give them power. The oppressed would envy those that are at higher state and began to wonder, okay, how can I get that? Well, I got to do what they do. And wonder why it doesn't work. It doesn't work. For those who received the law, which was Israel, majority of the time it doesn't work. We can't mimic them. Why? Because Satan's plan was to destroy the man and also keep oppressed the people who had the good, the law. Are you seeing this? So let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 25 to show forth how this manifests through these curses in today's time period. Why are men most oppressed? Why you'll never see no one backing the man? You won't see this. Because in order for Satan to have power, he had to do what? He had to destroy the image of the Most High. If he allows for the image of the Most High to rise, Satan loses. There's no reigning for him. He's not over. Are you seeing this? So let's get Deuteronomy chapter 28 and let's start at verse start at 15 and then jump down to 25.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Exactly. So the Most High told Moses to let him know, hey, all these curses will overtake thee. not understanding that through them not following this law, there will be no good to combat the evil. Therefore, by default, it's only one or two sides. You would choose evil then, because you rejected the good, so you're gonna go to the evil. So let's jump down to 25.
The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth.
So this is one curse. Yes, this curse applies to Israel, but check this out. It says, the Lord shall cause thee to smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them. When you think of war, you think men. Don't forget, you had mighty men during this particular time. This is destroying. There will be no union between Israel's men in order to even war. They'll be fighting against each other. They'll be going against each other. Why? Because the army is might, it's in power, it's of one mind. So because of that, they shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. That's a curse. Keep going.
And thy carcass shall be meat unto all fowls of the air, and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. The Lord will smite thee with the botch of Egypt, and with the emerods, and with the scab, and with the itch, whereof thou canst not be healed. The Lord shall smite thee with madness, and blindness, and astonishment of heart. And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness. And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. And thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee.
Exactly. Showing forth that they would be oppressed, because Satan would be over them now. Satan will be with all those who are committed with his plan to destroy the image of the Most High, whether ignorantly or not. Why? Because he's the God of this world. The earth was given into the hands of the wicked. Job 9:24. So because of this, the man has extremely suffered for. The image of the Most High has broken, with Satan going full throttle at destroying Adam. So let's jump down to verse 47. You got something you want to say on that, brother?
No, go ahead.
Okay, let's jump down to 47. Deuteronomy chapter
Because
28, verse 47.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
You see that? Thou shalt serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And ye shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until ye have destroyed thee. Who is this destroying them? This is still the adversary now. All those who have that good, who have the knowledge to obtain that good, that law, Satan will destroy. And not only that, he would take it even further by destroying the priest, the ones who are supposed to teach the law. That's men. You see this? This is why man is this in the state in which they are in. This is why the family structure will not be unified unless they are with the Most High. Everything else is against the image. Look at the system. The system is solely built and it benefits off the splitting of the family. Why? Because these are all tools in Satan's game. Sometimes he'll use the man to kill the man, or he'll use the woman to kill the man. Or he'll just have them fighting amongst one another. No real resolvement, no real talking, no really getting to the issue. See, Satan don't want that. Because through resolvement, it becomes fixed. It's reconciliation. Therefore, you can stand in power. But Satan doesn't want that. So let's read on. Let's get even some more of these curses. Where you stop there, brother? 48? 49. 49. Keep going.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flies. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kind, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee.
You see? So because Israel rejected the Most High's law, the Most High sent, allowed for the oppressors to be over. And through this allowing of the oppression to be over, it began to destroy the image of the Most High. Check out 51 again. He said, and he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kind, or the flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee. No longer will the family have trust in the man no more. They trust in the oppressor to feed them now. Are you seeing this? So all of these are tools in order to destroy the image of the Most High. It's all about destroying the image of the Most High. And using whatever tool he can use to get it, to accomplish it. Jump down to, is that 56, brother? Jump down to 56.
The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter, and toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children which she shall bear. For she shall eat them for want of all things secretly in the siege and straitness, wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates.
Exactly. Showing forth that, hey, because of this, the woman will look evil. Read the first one again, brother. Read what was that? 58? 56 again for me.
The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom.
So right here, when it says that her eye shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom. While some women look at men evil, not realizing that the system has implanted that. You didn't grow up like that. That was learned behavior. Psychological effects. Or passed down from psychological effects. Someone else told you to look at it like that. You're looking at someone else's perspective. All to do what? The end goal is the same, to destroy the image of the Most High. He doesn't care how he gets it done, long as he gets it done. Let's go to Psalms 81 and 11. Psalms 81, verse 11. See, Satan is adamant in his plan. It hasn't changed. He has been envious of the power of the image of the Most High since the beginning. Since the beginning, he has been very envious of it. And he will use anyone, any person to destroy it, to come against it. But his primary aim is at Adam. It's on so many levels. This is why majority of the Christian church are full of women. The system pushes that. It's catered towards more to the women. Why? Because the Most High used Adam to show Eve. And Satan knows that. So now, if Adam connects with the Most High, Satan loses. Are you seeing this? Are you seeing this? Let's get Psalms 81 and 11.
But my people would not hearken to my voice, and Israel would none of me. So I gave them up unto their own heart's lust, and they walked in their own counsel. Oh, exactly. Did my people?
Exactly. So this is where the Most High allowed for those who had the law to show forth it to the world. They began to go after their own lust. This was allowed for, this was another tool for Satan to use now. Through this lust, they would neglect what? Neglect the family. So now what? They're lusting after other women. They're lusting after money. They're lusting after status. Whether man or woman, but we're primarily looking at the man. Through all of this, destroys the image of the Most High, destroys their unity, that power that comes through that unity. Are you seeing this? This is why you have those who are envying one another. You'll have a brother envying another brother. By default, they would begin to destroy each other. They begin to what? Kill each other. They'll begin to what? Steal from each other. Are you seeing this? On and on and on. Breaking up the priest of the Most High, for one. And also breaking up the power of the image. And you know this is going on because why? In other nations, you see them don't even have the law. Yet, through the power of the image, they're still able to have rule over this world. Are you seeing it? I challenge each and last one of you guys to go look at even just the top 10 to 20 billionaires, right? I guarantee you they have a wife. I guarantee you that they have a wife. Because it's the power of the image. Through that power, they're able to rule. So because they went after their own hearts and lusts, they began to not follow the law. By not following the law, guess what? They began to break the image of the Most High, therefore putting them underneath the power of Satan. Are you seeing this? Let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 16.
Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind and the flocks of thy sheep. Cursed shall thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shall thou be when thou goest out. The Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke in all that thou settest in thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me.
So here we're the Most High is showing forth that because of this, these curses will what you begin to manifest themselves not only in Israel, but also to the rest of the world. Why? Because it began to divide the family. But because Israel got the law, obtained the law, they are at a much more risk of having these curses now. Are you seeing this? This is why it's much more prominent in Israel than any other nation. Not to say that each and every other nation is not going through this at some level. But because Israel had the goods, they had the law and rejected it, it's more prominent in Israel. You see less of Israel men being in rulership, being in position. Why? Because Satan, for one, would not allow it. It would destroy his reign. Are you seeing this? It would destroy his reign. Let's go to Leviticus 25 and 17.
Ye should not therefore oppress one another, but thou shalt fear thy God, for I am the Lord your God.
And this is one of the main commandments that's being broken today by men. Oppressing one another, envying one another. This guy got that, or he got this. I want it. You don't want to give it to me, I'm going to take it. So through all these tools of Israel not following the law, it even enhanced this world to even have more evil in it, because there would be no one to show that good. And at the same time, the men who would have this law would be at the lowest end of the totem pole. They'll be at the low. This also is showing for why even most of Israel men is in the prison systems. That's another tool used. Another tool used to destroy the image of the Most High. It's a reason why they don't let women in there. It's the image of the Most High. Male and female created he them. It's a reason for them. Because woman could operate righteously and help the man. And if she helped the man, Satan will begin to fall. Are you seeing this? Let's get to Sirach 19 and 2, brother. 19 and 2. Showing forth even more tools that are utilized to continue Satan's agenda and destroying the man child. And why the Most High put this law here. When you understand this, you understand why the law was put here in the first place. That it can't just be a carnal law. There must be a spiritual law when you understand this. So of those tools that were just mentioned, the system itself would be utilized to target the man. It would be utilized to degrade families, to destroy families. Profit off destroying families. There's a reason why divorce court is on TV. You don't see a men court on TV where people are actually getting amended. Families are actually coming together. You don't see that on TV. You won't see that on TV. All this stuff is spiritual, bro. This is all a part of Satan's game to destroy the image of the Most High. Let's get Sirach 19 and 2.
Wine and women will make men of understanding to fall away, and he that cleaveth to harlots will become impudent.
Exactly. This is even exemplified in men, especially Israel. You get them a little drunk, hey, who knows what will happen? They definitely gonna destroy the image of the Most High. Especially if you get them around women, whether they got a wife or not. Are you seeing it? Showing that these two whining women can be powerful. And if not used righteously, can actually begin to destroy the image. Can begin to destroy the image of the Most High. Can lead to our own as men demise. I mean, it's bad enough you have the system against you now. Now you put making wrong decisions with wine and women. Are you asking to be at the bottom? You asking to be underneath the jail. You got something you want to say on that, brother?
No, go ahead, brother.
Let's get Psalm 62 and 9. Before we close it up. Hopefully this is ringing to understand why men are at the lower totem pole, especially men of Israel. But it's even deeper than just men of Israel. Bro. It's men across the globe. Why? Because this light of the law was supposed to shine across the whole world through Israel. And because they rejected, no one is shining that light. No one is shining that light. So the absence of light is darkness. So the rest of the world is in darkness. Psalm 62 and 9.
Surely men of low degree are vanity, and men of high degree are a lie. To be laid in the balance, they are altogether lighter than vanity.
Keep going, get down to 12, brother.
Trust not in oppression, and become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them. God has spoken once, twice have I heard this, that power belongeth unto God. Also unto thee, O Lord, belongeth mercy, for thou renderest to every man according to his work.
Exactly. One of the key things that Israel's men deals with. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them. You have a person get plenty money, and all their heart go into this money. Once they lose their money, they gone. That was their essence. This also destroys the image of the Most High. Not to say that one can't get riches. That's not the case. It's all in how you use it righteously. So I want to open this up for everyone to show forth their experiences with some of these curses upon the man that they actually bring towards themselves. That they bring toward themselves. What I mean by that is, for example, you will have a man treat a woman any kind of way because he doesn't know love. He doesn't understand love. And through him not understanding that love, he could have a good woman, but yet he would be against the image of the Most High.